Jen Springer here of jenspringer.com, and I know mold symptoms can be like chasing a ghost. How do I know? Because when I was exposed to mold, and like I said, I've been a practitioner for many years, a natural health practitioner, and all these really crazy symptoms showed up in my life. Like symptoms you would never think were mold symptoms, because it was not exclusively in the respiratory system, was not only sinus. My lungs were fine until I got really bad, and I got all these strange symptoms. So let's first go over the obvious symptoms. And so I've heard from so many of you coming through my blog at jenspringer.com, because if you watch the video, the number one thing you should do when you've been exposed to toxic mold, if you haven't seen that video, you're going to want to watch it. But I've heard that from you that there are so many things. You're confused, you're overwhelmed, you're scared, you don't know where to turn. Your doctors may not know what to do, or they don't put the pieces of the puzzle together for you. So I've created an ebook. You can find it up there to your right, on the right side of the video here. And if that wasn't the right place, I'm sorry, it's up on the right side. So get that, because it is free. There's 7 steps, and in there I list every symptom that, well, not every, but a great majority, even the weird ones that I may not cover right now, for mold exposure. So make sure you get that. It's very critical, that it outlines everything for you, and then what to do to start, taking care of your body. So let's talk about the obvious ones. Sinus pain, right? Sinus infections, pain in the head, headaches, throat scratchiness, or what I had was the feeling that my throat was closing. Yeah. Lungs, coughing, wheeziness, heavy of the chest. Those are the obvious symptoms. All right. You might have some eye itchiness, like some people get blurriness. Those are some of the standard signs of mold exposure, because it's, for some, it's an allergen, right? So you get allergy types of response. But then there's the hidden ones that really make you sound like a whack job type of, what do they call that? A person that, hypochondriac when you go to the doctor, like racing heart, insomnia, men that can't get their, saluting because their hormones get whacked, women's hormones get whacked, they may see painful breasts, their cycle gets really crazy, things like that. Let's see, panic attacks and anxiety. Huge signs of mold exposure for many reasons. I talk about that in the book. Depression or energy fatigue, can't think straight, foggy thinking, your thoughts, your memory kind of gone, right? Big time, huge. Another one that I was very much affected by my neurological system. I had some of the respiratory symptoms. My partner Monty had massive respiratory symptoms, but I got it neurologically the most. And so what I saw was actually a change in my thyroid, where I started producing antibodies. It was also related to some other things, but that really kind of was weird. But I had numbness and tingling in the fingers. And also I had like a tremor. I was doing this and I didn't even know it. I didn't even pick it up. But Monty said, yeah, you had that tremor until I got out of the mold. So I know there's a lot of people who have been exposed to mold that have been diagnosed as MS or MS type of symptoms. So it's another big one. Pretty much anything you can think of can be traced to this, depending on how your body is hit by the mold, because there's mold allergy and then there's mold poisoning. And I don't have mold allergies per se. I've been tested for mold, pricked on the arm, blood tests. I don't test to mold, but I was poisoned by mold. So it's like you don't have to be allergic to arsenic in order to be poisoned by arsenic, right? So you might not have allergic type symptoms, but as your body's exposed, you will notice. I've had friends of mine and even myself where you'll start to hear things, if you know what I mean, like voices. People who hear, like, start to have paranoia, severe mental emotional issues. These are things that you would never tie to that, but it does happen. So I really, my heart goes out to you, and I hope that you find the answers you need to get better. If you haven't watched the number one thing to do when you've been exposed to mold, please do. Subscribe to my channel. I'm going to be doing more mold videos, and I've got quite a bit in there already. That one is the big one, but there's some other ones because we were really, really sick. and coming a few years out of it. You know, I'm still working on some things that are lingering, but thank God that hard stuff is over. And sometimes I thought our life was a joke. Like, I'm like, is this real? Like, we kept moving, and every time we moved, we kept going into another mold situation, and we didn't know it. You know, you couldn't see it. And oh my gosh, I didn't want to go there. So if you want to connect with me, go to jenspringer.com. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. Get my free recovery mold book, Your Health Recovery, 7 Steps to Mold Recovery. Make sure you get that. I've got it listed down in the description, and I've got listed, it's up here in the card for this video. So get that, please. It goes through. If I can help you in any way, please reach out to me, because I know what it's like not to have answers and feel like the world is caving in on you and there is nothing you can do about it, and not seeing your way out to health again. Yeah, been there. So bye-bye. We'll see you soon.